Hello and welcome to the Ashley Dean Show. I'm Ashley. Here we are. Another month has passed. I can't believe it. Happy November. I'm sitting here in sweats because it's finally cold in Nevada. And of course I have my favorite snack duo here. I have my dark chocolate and I also have my Diet Coke to keep me company. I'm really looking forward to this election season being over. So I figured that I would, again, try to share something light and fun today before the election to get our minds off of what is coming. So wherever you are, I hope this lighthearted, warm, and cozy episode can put a smile on your face, but also allow you to dream, because that's exactly what this life experience that I want to share with you today taught me. Dreams are real, and you can make them happen. So I'm really excited to share this story that I have planned for you. I actually don't have a guest. October is the best month of the year. It kind of got away from me, and I didn't schedule anyone for November. So it's okay. Sometimes I think things work out like that, work out for the best. So before I get to my story, like I said, I don't know about you, but I'm so anxious and eager to get this election over with, to know who wins, to just be done with the whole thing. So I did go and vote the other day. Obviously, as we know, we're electing our new president for the next 4 years, and I don't usually go and early vote, but this year I did. And while I was standing in line, it reminded me of another time that I actually early voted, the only other time. And that was the time when I was living in the great state of Texas just 8 years ago, which was the 2016 election. And it just really got me thinking about my time living in Texas and just reminded me of my short time in Austin. And I thought that it kind of might be a fun and crazy story to tell of how and why I moved to Texas. So, this season I'm sharing life experiences and what we learned from them. And the time I lived and moved to Texas was definitely a life experience that I learned so much from. And hopefully it takes our mind off of everything that's going on. So before I get to that, again, in honor of the election, I want to share a quick random Ash insight. I don't know if you remember these. I made them up. They're basically just quick thoughts that I have. And if you know me personally, I share things that I learn, occasionally. Sometimes they're just kind of duds. But sometimes they come out to be cool, fun nuggets. So let me know if you think this is a good nugget or if this is a dud. So nug or dug? Dug? No. Nug or dud? So finish the sentence for me. If politics were a little bit more like sports. Finish the sentence. Think on that. I'll pause for a minute. What if politics were a little bit more like sports? So I came up with this because I am a New York Yankee fan. It's basically the only team that I've actually rooted for my entire life, and the only team that my entire family cheers for. So thanks to my dad, we are all loyal Yankee fans. He's from New Jersey, and he's also always been a Yankee fan, and he passed it down to his kids and his family, and I love it. I love that we have a team that we can get behind and just root for. But like this last week shows, sometimes being a Yankee fan kind of breaks our heart. This last week was tough, and I'm just going to brush past the details, but I want to share a quick encounter that I had that kind of sparked this random Ash insight. I was washing my hands in our staff bathroom when a coworker was next to me, and she was wearing a Dodger shirt. It was the day after the Yankees lost the World Series. I don't want to say that it was the day after the Dodgers won the World Series, even though, but perspective. Anyway, she was wearing her Dodger shirt and she was beaming. And I had to swallow my pride and I just smiled. And I thought, okay, if I were her, I'd be happy. She was. I couldn't fault her for being excited about winning the World Series. I just kind of had to accept it and give her team the credit that they deserve for winning. Even though I was sad for my team, I was proud of my sportsmanship, even though, I'm human. I was a little salty. I was sad. I admitted that the Dodgers won and it was deserved and they worked hard and that they proved that they should have that title. And that's really what sparked this random Ash insight. I thought, wow, what if politics were like this? Because I wish that they were. With sports, it's like all the talk goes out the door because the actual winning happens on the field. There's a lot of talk in politics, a lot, and it drives me crazy. I don't know about you. I wish politics had more opportunities for the hard work to talk instead of the words. But soon we'll get there. The day after the election, just 2 short days away, is when all the results come in and we can accept the defeat or celebrate the victory, depending on what side you are rooting for. So think about that. Answer that question in what you think. What if politics were a little bit more like sports? Share with me what you come up with, and also share with me if you think this is a dud or a nug. I always think sports are just a great metaphor for life, and they just give us perspective. I love it too because there's a clear winner. Rules, standards. When we are good sports and we can accept it, the losers and the winners, we can also look forward to the next game and in the next competition, and then keep working hard toward our goal, and just wishing everyone the best. It's wishing everyone involved the best. So anyway, it's my random Ash insight. Let me know, is it a dud? Is it a nug? Share with me the ending of the sentence. I would love to hear from you. So now to my epic story of moving to Austin, Texas. First of all, I don't recommend this, but it did work out for me. So if you feel like I did, okay, go for it. But I'm not saying this is something that you should do. I'm not going to get behind that. So I was just going through a really rough time with my back and the pain that I had. And it was just it colored every area of my life. I was still in pain, even though I thought I was healed, and I was frustrated. I couldn't find peace in my job. I just didn't feel like I was where I was supposed to be. So again, I don't recommend it, but I quit. I quit my job before I actually had another one. But I still had some time. I was teaching. The school year wasn't over. I had the summer. So I was able to quit. It was okay. And when the school year was over, I found another job, but that one didn't work out either. I spent 2 weeks there and I quit really quick. So I made a new plan. It was the summer, I had a little bit more time, and I decided that I would jump in my car and take a road trip. I thought that, road trips helped me clear my mind, and it was a good, I don't know, if maybe I needed a fresh start. I had just turned 35, which I felt like was a big age to turn. And so I thought, let's go on a road trip. And, in my mind, I also thought I want to scope out a new city to live in. I didn't have anything holding me to Las Vegas, so it was perfect. And I went to Austin, Texas. I drove to Austin. I pulled up to the city of Austin, and this is where, this is how it went for me. I plugged into my GPS. I needed gas, and I went to Costco and I got gas. And then I was hungry, and I went to Chick-fil-A, and I filled up my body with food. And then I was like, okay, let's scope out the area. Let's find a place to live. And I ended up finding this billboard that I followed, which was actually perfect. I said, I remember saying a quick prayer to help me find a good location and a good place to live. If it's meant to be, if this is what the plan is for me in my life. And I found this wonderful person to help me, and I told her everything I was looking for, and she helped me find a great apartment. And I couldn't move in for another month, which was also perfect. I could go home, get all my stuff, come back. So the next thing that I wanted to do was go for a run. I love running. And so I came upon this huge football field. I'm in Texas, I'm in Austin, and there was a track attached to it. And so I was like, perfect, let me get my shoes. So I grab my shoes, I get myself ready to go run, and then it dawns on me, this is a high school. Maybe you could work here. Maybe this could work out. So, honestly, that's how it worked. I know this is crazy, this way to tell this story, but it is exactly how it happened. So I found a place to live. I found a job. They did need a teacher. Think of that, in the same subject that I was teaching. So I went out and I just kind of scoped out the town, and there was live music playing. I just thought, this is perfect. I was introduced to all the tacos that there were to be had, and the chips and salsa. And so after kind of touring the city, I was like, okay, it's time to go home. I'll go home now. I'll get all my stuff. And then I had to come back because the school year was starting. So I drove back to Austin, started school. I couldn't move into my apartment for a few weeks. So I luckily was able to live in a hotel. I had a hotel life, which I think everyone needs to experience that. I felt like Eloise at the Plaza. I loved those books when I was growing up. And it was crazy when I got to that hotel. It was right across from the school that I was going to be teaching at. And the receptionist or the front desk manager, he looked at me and he was like, Miss Taliaferri? And I was like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? He ended up being one of my former students. It was just such a small world. So he gave me like a really good deal, and it felt like home for me. And I had a great time living in that hotel. It was a fortune. It cost me a lot of money. But I got to experience living in a new city, and it was just exactly what I needed. I'm not saying like it was perfect and everything was great. It was meant to be. Like everything fell into place for me to live there, and I met incredible people that still have an influence on me in my life today. And I love that I took that chance and that I was diligent, and I just was like, okay, this is where I'm going to be. This is what I want to do. And I worked to make this dream realize. And I have so many fond memories of living in Texas, especially when I can look back and remember, oh, I remember when I voted in Texas, when I was able to cast my vote in a different state. And again, like the incredible people that I met in Austin. And I wouldn't take back that time. I knew that when the time came for me to move or to stay, I knew that I was going to move back to Las Vegas. I learned the importance of having roots in a city and how just it's not necessary, but what great, what that can give you. I learned that I wanted to be closer to the beach. I was very far away from the beach. I know that sounds silly, but I love that I can just get in my car and go to the beach quickly and be close to California. While I was away, both of my parents got majorly sick, or like, my mom had her aortic dissection. My dad went through a health scare with his diabetes. And it just kind of made me realize, like, I want to be closer to them. I want to be where they are, because that was the first time that I realized, like, I could lose one or both of them. And that is not something that I ever really thought about before. And so I do believe that I was meant to live in Austin and just take that adventure and enjoy that adventure, and then come back to Las Vegas and to be here in this city. And I look back, I've been back for 7 years, and I can't believe all the incredible experiences that I've had in those 7 years. I was able to get my artificial disc. I was around people that helped me recover from that, that experience. I was able to work remotely as a news reporter and anchor here in Las Vegas. And now my current teaching position, which I didn't think I was going to teach again, is just perfect for me and for my talents, and just a great experience. So I share that story. It's kind of a crazy one that it happened the way that it did, but I know that it was like exactly what needed to happen for me. And again, like I said, it's anything is possible. I think in the future I would love to kind of go to another city again when the time is right. And I know that when that time happens, all the things will fall into place, just like it did for me living and moving to Texas. So I felt like it was really a meant to be place for me for that year. And then I came back, and again, things fell into place for me for where I am now. And so it's just, again, it's a fun story, fun, lighthearted, something that I love to share. I call that time of my life the chapter of my life that I lived in Austin, my taco chapter, because I learned about tacos. I don't think I had eaten so many tacos in my life or even realized that I liked tacos. I always loved chips and salsa, but tacos, I didn't really think that was something that I loved. So I'm glad to share that with you this week. I hope that it gives you that desire to dream. If sometimes you want to change a pace, it doesn't mean that it has to be forever. You can go take that adventure and you can come back. There's nothing wrong with going on an adventure and then coming right back to where you started, because I did, and it was perfect for me. And I'm so glad that I did it, looking back in the long run. I I hope you guys are all feeling good and hopeful about the election tomorrow. I just kind of think all the time, this is history. We're living through history. I can do my part and cast my vote and share my voice, but we'll see what happens. And I think that this is a choice land, a choice country that we live in, and that whatever happens will be okay. And I am excited and anxious to hear what comes. So thank you for listening to the Ashley Dean Show this month, and I can't wait to come back again next month and share with you more life experiences. So until then, cheers.